Hello everyone, Master, and today we are back with Red Embrace Hollywood. Yeah, I know it's been like a while since I played the game, but whatever. Let's just do it. Okay, last time we went to the sewers to find the killer who been killing all the vampires, and like we actually found him. Well, actually not found him, but well we did found him, but like we didn't actually kidnap him. Well, capture him, and then like bring him to the Iskari house. But like we know who he is. If you haven't seen that video, just go to the previous episode. You need to understand the whole thing. Or you haven't seen Red Embrace Hollywood, my let's plays, just go to the playlist. Yeah. I see that Kendrick isn't with you. Sharice went silent for a short while, her eyes much more troubled and grave than usual. Then she glanced at the agent beside her, gesturing towards the door. Sorry about that. If you allow us for a moment, please. Of course. After a short nod, the man turned on his heel, swiftly making an exit. Oh crap, sorry about that. The killer. I presume you found him then. When we were by ourselves, she addressed me with a low, worried murmur. Did you know it would be him? Lazarus? Lazarus? No, of course I didn't. I had considered the possibility, but I believe he was no longer a threat to us. Her face slowly darkened, expression flickering between disgust and worry. There was only one way for a vampire to increase their physical power, through the consumption of another vampire's flesh. However, just as our blood is poisonous to each other, the flesh is too, with some incredible rare exceptions. Only a few vampires have the immunity to stomach either. But for humans, consuming our bodies gives them incredible, though only temporary powers. That is how Lazarus grew so powerful. He had promised to change his ways after he became an agent. That was before you entered the scenario, however, and he disappeared. He's dangerous, Sharice. I think he's going to keep hunting us. I can't believe you were going to turn a cannibal. I don't think he was a cannibal. I mean, he knows that vampires exist, but like since one vampire actually got to me, Max, he then started to go crazy. So like he started to kill other vampires to gain temporary powers. I have a feeling he won't show himself again. He's dangerous, Sharice. I think he's gonna keep hunting us. It's different to say for certain. For a moment, her voice sounded a little uneven, even shaky. But when she spoke again, it had returned to a more cool, collected tone. Now that he's delivered his message, I don't know whether he'll keep killing. However, I will have my agents remain on high alert now that we know what we're facing. You have done admirable work, nonetheless. I won't forget your bravery and tenacity in escaping his clutches. From the brisk way she cleared her throat, it was obvious that she didn't want to discuss Lazarus any further. That is all. Please leave me. About Kendrick. There's no need to explain further. I can already assume what happened. It is unfortunate, but he accepted risk when he undertook this task willingly. Good night, Max. Leaving the meeting room behind, I returned to the lobby. Despite the length of my sewer adventure, the sun hadn't begun to rise yet. I had enough time to visit somewhere, or else I could stay at the hotel. I don't know, like, let's just stay in, because like, it's really dangerous. I had enough fun outside for one night, so I decided to stick around the hotel. Unlike usual, the lobby was fairly empty, though not completely. I noticed an elegant woman standing near the desk, her attention flicking idly around the room. Our gazes met for a moment, and she flashed me with a sweet, lingering smile before averting her eyes again. I approached the woman by the desk. I approached the woman curiously. It almost seemed like she was waiting for someone. Oh, Oh, yeah, she is vampire. One thing more, like I thought she was human. Of course not. There's no humans at well. There's no humans in the East Curry house. Oh, what we have here? When I grew close, she gave a soft, theatrical gasp, blinking at me with exquisite brown eyes. You're quite a striking young man. I certainly remember if we met before. Delighted, delighted to make your acquaintance. My name is Quinging, and you might be. My name is Max, but the pleasure's all mine, Miss Quing. How do you say that? Like, these names are just so random. I'm Max, but nice to meet you. I'm Max, but the pleasure's all mine, Miss Quinging. Isn't that a little greedy? I think we can agree to share the pleasure, no? Oh no. She winked boldly at me, putting on an effervescent smile. You had a good timing showing up when you did. I'm waiting to begin a meeting with one of Miss Locke's associates, but I forgot to bring along something to read, and my mind keeps fluttering off of places it shouldn't. She sighed, sounding faintly distressed, although I had noticed an excited sparkle in her gaze. I'm from a coven in New York, not Los Angeles. I flew in a few hours ago actually, but I just can't concentrate on business at all. Not when the love of my life is in the city. Oh, of course I haven't completely won her over. Oh, okay, yeah, she's gay. Yeah, okay. Of course I haven't completely won her over yet, which is a tiny problem. Oh, who is she? Who hasn't she might be a better question. Her warm giggle faded away after a moment, and she pursed her lips more thoughtfully. I used to be a lady in waiting some time ago, quite a while ago actually. Imperial China. Time flies, doesn't it? It just so happened that I'd served the most beautiful, exquisite, radiant princess to ever grace on Earth's surface. Of course, I fell impossibly in love with her. I was doomed from the start. Incredibly blessed woman that I am, she somehow fell in love with me too. And for the time, we were just the happiest creatures alive. She sighed dreamily, eyelids briefly fluttering close in a rapturous look. Things couldn't stay like that forever though. Happiness in the mortal world just never lasts. My princess, you see, she had to marry this wretched diplomat from the West, and I went along with her. The wedding was just awful to sit through. But then it just so happened that a few months later, her husband very tragically passed away. What? It was so sudden, it caught us all by surprise, complete surprise. Yet, there was a silver lining. His death allowed the princess and I to finally be together. So, who am I to question fate? What happened then was one of you turned to a vampire? What happened then was one of you turned to a vampire? Well, the princess, she passed away a short time after that. We were born still human. We were both still human, and on her dying breath, we made a pact of reunited in the next life to fall in love again. Then, about a year later, I was turned by an East Carry vampire, which threw quite a wrench into our eternal rendezvous. Now, I found her a number of times since then, in very different bodies, but I always know it's her, and I fall in love with her each time, just like I did at the beginning. Despite her words, Queen's tones never lost a certain determined, cheerful energy. The only problem is, well, I never gotten permission to turn her. She's still something of a stubborn soul even after each rebirth. Oh, I was like wondering, wait, what? So like she turned to a vampire? Okay, but no, she was Oh, oh my goodness, I'm so dumb. That would explain why she's wearing that explains why she's wearing that. Yeah, that explains it. Sorry about that. If only I could find a way to remake our connection from the past to have her join me in an empyrean bond of undying love. Even if it means abandoning the sun forever. You're a lovely woman in Queen. I know you'll be able to win her over eventually. That's the sweetest encouragement I've ever heard in such a long time. With a warm sigh, Queen reached out, gently touching my shoulder. I was longing to visit her tonight to keep the torch of our love burning brightly. You've listened so wonderfully to me, dear. What do you think I should do? Keep pursuing the princess. Show her how far you're willing to go for your love. Entice her, send her sweet reminders of your love. No, no. Yes, I think you're completely right. I'll win her over eventually, and then my darling princess won't keep slipping away time and again. Thank you so much, Max. Of course, I hope things will work out for you. You're welcome. Someday I like to find an eternal romance too. Oh, you will? Oh, I'm sure you will. And you deserve it. I don't doubt that for a second. You're an absolute joy to be around. I'll have a mention to Miss Locke how impressed I am with her new agent. I wasn't expecting to find such an open heart and mind here. But you certainly proved otherwise, Max. She beamed at me fondly, touching one of her glittering earrings with a small chuckle. Here comes the man I was supposed to be meeting with. I think I have to be off now. Thank you for company, Max, and take care. Wingling her fingers at me gently, clinging to in towards the approaching Iskari agent. I watched as they strode off towards the meeting rooms together, her bubbling stream of conversation slowly fading into the distance. Actually, let's talk to David, because we never talked to David at all. Let's talk to David. After I knocked on the door between my room and David's, he rushed over to greet me. Hello, Max. How are you? I'm alright, thanks. How are you? I'm fine. Happy to see you again. But I'm always happy when I see you. No. Come on, I just got here. So, was there something you want to talk about? You know what would really suit you, a color? Tell me about yourself. You want to know about me? He stared at me slack-jawed, apparently floored by my question. I mean, there's nothing special about me. I'm not some amazing important person like you are. But I have a brother who's way too overprotective of me, and my dad with a bunch of money. My mom used to be a model, but when she got too old, she had to retire. Now she stays home and watches talk shows most of the time. I just finished high school, but I wasn't planning to go to college or anything, especially since I got held back a few years. My dad says it'd be a waste of money and I should just work with his magazine instead. Is that what you really want to do? Work for your dad? You shouldn't listen to him. But he's my dad. He knows me pretty well, I guess. He's right, probably. I don't do well in school. I've never really been great at anything. But I don't care about that stuff anymore. I mean, it's not important. I'm here for you now, right? For you to drink from. It's a really nice feeling. I don't need anything else. That's it for now. Thanks. Okay, I'm happy we could talk more, Max. I'll be here if you want to drink from me again. He returned to his room with a shy smile on his face, glancing back at me before closing his door. I went back to the lobby, but it was mostly empty now, so there probably wasn't much reason to stick around. Leave the lobby. Oh my goodness. Let's visit the abattoir. It was a packed night at the club. I saw and sensed plenty of Iskari around, mingling with the unaware humans. Over in the lounge, a friendly-looking group stood chatting and laughing with each other. And when we briefly made eye contact, one of them nodded at me invitingly. Let's talk to them. I slowly made a way over to the Iskari, who welcomed me in their group almost instantly. While free-spirited and down to earth, they were much different from more elegant vampires I usually saw at the hotel. But they weren't like the Marva either. I glimpsed a dreamy, distant romance in their eyes, the same flower child smiles I see in old photographs. As we carried on a loud conversation over the music, I learned that they'd been partying since the LSD days of the 60s, which apparently saw an outbreak in vampirism. Back then, rumors spread that getting fed on was just an amazing new high, but all the young, over-eager vampires frequently drank too much from their partners. So instead of letting them die, they spread the condition like wildfire. After they shared some of their history with me, the friendly Iskari invited me to dance. I decided to. Yeah, that's okay. I followed them on. I followed them out onto the dance floor where we spent the next hour slamming and flailing to various gothic hits. The dancing skills were all over the place, but nobody really seemed to care. They were just happy to be enjoying themselves, relishing the music the same way they had this decades ago. Eventually, the group disappeared to get drinks or wander off with their partners, but they thanked me for spending time with them. Let's head outside. I left the noisy interior of the club, returning to the street. Let's go back. Let's just go back to. Let's just go back to the room. Time has passed quickly, and the night was already almost over. Time to head back. Flipping off the lights, I gazed out the window into a sparkly panorama. It was so strange to think that if I hadn't been turned, this room would belong to Lazarus. Where would I have been right now? Still in Hollywood, chasing my dreams? Or if Hollywood rejected me, would I have ended up somewhere very different instead? With my cold cheek pressed into the pillow, I left another night of unsettling thoughts for the comforting arms of sleep. Why am I still hearing? Okay. After my encounter with Lazarus, Shari's gave me the next night off. I slept in a little bit, but no one called or visited me, so I decided to prowl the city by myself. In a short while I've been in Hollywood as a human, I have found an unusual spot that quickly captured my interest. It was only open late at night due to its unique nature. Sorry. So now was the perfect time to visit. That place happened to be a miniature bat cave with live bats, surreal art gallery that was also a Buddhist monk retreat, devious SM and club. Devious SM and surreal. Okay, darker, more carnal clubs weren't anything rare in Los Angeles, but in one night I stumbled into a lair of true debauchery, a place that made every other SMM club look more about as tame as Mr. Rogers. Oh boy. I hadn't gotten a glimpse look at it during my first and only visit, but from the brief glimpses I've seen of the Patreons, well, I felt much safer returning as a vampire. Okay. It was a pleasant night, so I decided to stroll there instead of taking a taxi. But as I stood at a crosswalk, I noticed someone familiar hurrying towards me. That man from the abattoir, Nick. Oh, hey Max. He slowed to a halt in front of me, his eyes dancing around briefly. Glad I could catch you. I've been looking for you all night. Hello, Nick. Why were you looking for me? Randall wanted to see you, so I offered to take a message. I'm pretty good at tracking folks down from the scent patterns. It's like a science, you know? He smoked for a moment, rolling his shoulders. You should head to the beach. Randall's out by the shore, or was when I left him anyway. He would have called you, but Shari's has got to have your phone tapped. And after the other night, we shouldn't risk the Iskari tracking us down. Alright, I'll head over right now. Sounds good. Maybe I can catch you there later. With that, Nick threw me a casual wave and strode off, leaving me to catch a taxi. During the ride to Santa Monica, I reflected on the last time I seen Randall. He looks badly shaken up, but all his followers were eager to protect him, clustering around their hero. I knew Randall was tough, probably tough enough that he already recovered from the assassination attempt. Still, when I left his side, there was a chill in his eyes that I had never seen before. After the car dropped me by the pier, I strolled along the beach towards Randall's house. It felt calm and peaceful, at least until I was in earshot of the Marvel partying outside. Tonight they seemed to be gathering in full force, filling the house and scattered around on the sand, drinking and laughing. Some of them seemed to notice me, but they quickly looked away instead of offering any greeting. As I crossed the sand in front of the house, I spotted two starkly different figures next to each other. Oh! And then when he came back furious the next day, do you know what Marcus told him? He said, "Why prolapse builds character? No refunds." That is customer service. Alicia and Jack were happily chatting away, holding drinks. They seemed too absorbed in the conversation for me to interrupt, so I kept walking past them. There was no sign of Randall among the Marva, but it sounded like people were still talking about him. Oh, and I was telling Randall about some of my ideas earlier. Once Sharice is gone, think of all the great things we could do with LA. Yeah, but first we gotta lay down some rules so we don't get tyrants rising up again. Make sure nobody's better than anyone else. A few Marvas sitting on the sand fired comments back and forth, nodding at each other's words. Oh yeah, of course. I bet Randall's gonna get everyone on the same page real quick. But what should we do with the Iskarian gods? There's no way the crashing waves drown out the rest of the dialogue. I was about to head inside to look for Randall, but when I finally emerged from the group, I spotted a long figure walking along the shore, gazing into the ocean. Even though he looked the same as always, the tall, broad body with a steady stride, something about him seemed strangely vulnerable. Oh. As I wandered to his side, Randall turned to glance over at me, his face blank. The next moment, he pulled on a small welcoming smile, beckoning me to walk beside him. Hey Max, nice night out. Better now that you're here. You look pretty lonely by yourself. Why aren't you with your group? I just need some time to myself, that's all. And I was waiting for you too. He chuckled, a hollow sound, not like his deep, bellowing laughs. I'm glad you got my message. As we walked along the shore, Randall's gaze slowly drifted past me, watching the laughing group in the distance. I wanted to go find you myself, but after I got shot, the others don't want me to go anywhere alone. They're real fired up now, even more than before. Took everything I had to keep them from launching an unplanned attack. Would have been mass suicide. His last words came in a disbelieving scoff, a little more coarse than I was used to hearing. Slowing to a halt, Randall turned to face me. You know, Max, he murmured my name quietly, his voice barely audible over the waves. things will be like this for much longer. I know I'm dreading whatever will happen. The war can't go on forever. Someone has to make a move. You're right, and someone will soon enough. Randall ran one hand through his long, shaggy hair, exhaling a heavy sigh that sounded like it was being crushed out of him. The sticking point is, Sharice doesn't want to get her claws out of LA. Andre, too. He wants power over the city even more than she does. His voice took on a hint of a snarl. But the moment of anger seemed to pass as quickly as it came, and his clenched fingers relaxed against his sides. Listen, after the other night, I couldn't stop thinking about this, so I'm gonna come right out and say it. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow, next week, or next month, but this war's gonna have a crap show finale. You have to pick a side, and we're not on the same. And if we're not on the same team, he trailed off, letting the silence finish his sentence. Honestly, I wish I could stay neutral. In any situation, you might have a chance at that. But Shari is ready to turn on your butt the second you try and ditch, and you need a lot of friends to protect you. Me? I do anything to keep you safe, Max, but unless you made it real clear you're against Shari's. Well, sometimes my word alone isn't enough to keep the overeager guys from lashing out. With a slow, uncertain shake of his head, Randall rubbed at his eye. Oh god. You know, if I'm gonna be honest, from what I've heard him see, it sounds like you're more in Shari's camp than anyone else's. It's hard for me to believe that you're okay with her lording over all of us. His slow, disappointed words came in cadence of a funeral march. I'm gonna betray her, I'm just waiting for the right moment. If it comes down to choosing you or her, I choose you. I still haven't decided what I'm gonna do. A sad smile weakly pulled his lips for a moment before it faded away. When I was a kid, and even as a grown guy, I dealt with some effed up things, you know, like most people do. I'm not gonna whine about it to you or go on a TV talk show or whatever, but I'll say that most of those things happened because I was too weak to stand up for myself. His eyes drifted down to his open palm where I noticed his bandage was covered with dark sketches. The figures he drawn looked even more deformed and abstract than normal. I went through so much abuse from people who had power over me, until one day I decided I wouldn't take it anymore. So please try and see where I'm coming from. That's real hard for me to accept someone pushing me down again when I finally thought I gotten free. That was a dark place for me, and I don't want to go back. He stared at me for several wordless moments, his eyes darkened by a severity that I wasn't used to seeing. But you know, the whole reason I brought this up was, "Hey, Randall!" When a voice called to us, Randall froze. Who's that? We both glanced back to see. Oh, Nick. Randall, Marla and Joe were asking if you could show them. Tell them to F off. Randall snapped back, his voice suddenly sharp and cool. Can I talk for Max for 1 minute? 1 minute without some kind of crap happening? Randall, his words trailed off. As the moment faded into silence, all three of us seemed equally caught off guard. I didn't mean to. Sorry, Nick. Don't worry about that. We know you're stressed. Nick shook his head, flashing. I'll give this met for a moment, and he offered me a short nod too. I'll go help him. Say that you're busy with Max. You gotta take care of yourself. We need you, you know. With a short wave, Nick turned to a stroll back to the house. It didn't seem like Randall's outburst had affected him at all. What was that about? just people asking for favors or to talk about the war properly. Seem to be all everyone ever wants me for these days. His grimace for he grimaced for a moment, but it eventually melded back to a smile. What was I saying? I need a damn secretary to follow me with a scratch pad. Ah, yeah. The reason why I care so much about what happened to you. He fell silent again, this time to hesitantly scratch at his beard, mulling over something in his head. Ah. Wait, he's hugging me? Before I knew it, Randall's two powerful tattooed arms were flung around me, strapping me in a hug. As he clutched me against his much larger form, Randall's arms seemed to tremble slightly, not squeezing as hard as they seemed to want to. It felt like part of him was afraid he'd break me, and the other part he was afraid he'd ever let go. I'm just happy I got to meet you because the way you hang in there, the way nothing, not even this crappy new life can pull you down. You got this. I don't know how else to say it. This will, like you're strong enough to grab your own destiny and shape it. When I first saw you in the garage, I thought to myself, this guy, he's gonna carve a path and survive no matter what kind of crap fate has in store for him. Randall's words were filled with an unusual determination, and almost like he was talking to himself as much as me. I look at you, Max, and I honestly think you could do anything. And this will, it needs more people like you. I think you have a little too much faith in me. It's been hard, but I don't plan on giving up. Anyone can do anything. They just need to realize the potential. Randall gave me a sudden squeeze, arms encircling me even more protectively. For a long pause, he stayed silent and still holding my body with the reverence of someone grasping an holy relic. Finally releasing me from the embrace, Randall pulled away slightly, gazing intently at my face. The gentle waves slid up to touch the edges of our boots before slowly falling back into the ocean. Sorry, I'm not acting funny, Max. All the stress just gets to me sometimes. Almost having your head blown off doesn't make a guy feel any more relaxed either. He rubbed a hand along his forehead, finally letting out a weak laugh. I gotta take responsibility, not just for my own actions, but for the actions of everyone in the clan, in my group. I can't wait until all the war crap is over, and I won't be stuck in this role anymore, but until then, I need a sharp guy like you around to keep me sane, you know? A hopeful light flickered back into his eyes. I'm about as sharp as a butter knife, but I'll do my best. Don't pull yourself down like that. You don't deserve it. Besides, butter knives are still useful, you know. Cutting butter, spreading jam, giving warning stabs. One of Randall's deep, earth-shaking laughs rumbled in his chest. Just a little more hollow than it used to be. Well, Max, now that I've talked your ears off, there's a little while left until the sun comes up, and you never finished that story you were telling me back in Saturnalia. I didn't forget, you know. Well, I forget. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I still can't believe the sea turtles would. Oh yeah. I still can't believe. Oh yeah, we're actually we. Oh my God, I can't remember. I think we actually told him the story. I still can't believe the sea turtles were doing that, and the priest. How do you explain those bruises to the church later, huh? Walking side by side along the shore, Randall and I fell into an easy conversation like the ones we used to have. It felt so peaceful compared to our last meetings, almost unnervingly relaxed. Even though we weren't that far from Hollywood, it could have been light years away from us, along with all the cares and worries of conflict. By the time I left, by the time I finally left the beach, Randall seemed much happier than when I arrived. Like my presence alone had calmed him down. He was reluctant to let me go, but finally agreed only after I promised to hang out with him again soon. As I made my way towards the pier, I heard the sound of Randall's clanmates rushing out towards him, surrounding him in like an adoring flock. And when I glanced over my shoulder, I could no longer make out his shape among them. Why am I back here? A faint drip echoed from somewhere inside the garage. It filled my ears as I walked along, my thoughts drifting absently. I was on my way back from my last mission. Sharice had sent me to blow up an old storage facility. Oh god. We're at that. Some upstart vampire, an Iskari who defected to Randall's side, was using the place to hide weapons. She sent me out alone, so I had dutifully blown it up. I don't know. Purposely sabotage my own explosives. I should probably sabotage it. I planted the explosive inside, but sabotaged them carefully. That way, if Shari sends another agent to see why the facility hadn't exploded, I could pretend someone tampered with it after I left. Now, I was on my way back to the hotel, taking a shortcut through the park. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. With any luck, I arrived with time to spare and have the rest of the night to myself. A few weeks have passed since that night on the beach with Randall. I've been so busy traveling around him on various assignments that I hadn't gotten much time to see him. Wait, what was that? I didn't even read the log yet. Now and then, I managed to sneak down to the beach somewhere. Oh, beach where we linger. Oh, the text. Oh, the text like somehow like. I don't. What the hell? Oh, that's cool. Like I can actually. I didn't even click on anything. I just scroll up. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, I better stop that. We lingered on the sand, discussing everything from politics to what was playing on the radio. We always talked about what we do when the war ended, planning our vacations projects, and many other dreams. But somewhere in Randall's voice, I always felt like there was a hint of doubt. With the war at its current statement, I understood his feelings because I felt them too in a way. The garage was unnervingly quiet. All I could hear was the sound of my own footsteps and the droning hum of fluorescent lights overhead. I never figured out who kept these lights on or if some electrical company had just never bothered to shut them off. Somewhere far above me, thunder rumbled outside, announcing a storm that might have already arrived. Just another calm night as a vampire in Hollywood. As I approached the staircase that would lead me outside, something made me freeze. I felt a presence nearby. It was approaching me from the staircase and from above. Can I catch a break for one night? My disgruntled murder went while hold on. Okay, recorder and yes, go. While Catrotic, who didn't do anything to stop the oncoming footsteps. Moments later, a different rumble started to echo from above. The sound of a car engine. This wasn't a chance encounter or a friendly visit. I was being ambushed. Over there, get him. He's probably. Oh god. He's probably trying to run away, just like I said he would. The staircase door flew open, letting out a group that rushed towards me. Almost stimulously, a large black car pulled around the corner, angling itself to block my path. Within seconds, I found myself being surrounded, but almost of all the presence I felt weren't vampires. They were humans. Wait! We want to talk to him first. Who the hell are you? Two figures pushed through the group, swaggering towards me. Something about the woman seemed strangely familiar. No, she was definitely familiar. I saw her in the hotel lobby, angrily shouting at the desk clerk. She must have been... Oh my gosh. I didn't recognize the man, but he had the normal air of a marva. Only 10 times more bloodthirsty. So, are you here to kill me? Yeah, we're here to get rid of the problem. We're ready to go back how things were before you show your ugly face. I didn't do nothing! Bro, I just got here. I didn't even do nothing. The marva snarled eagerly at me. It's a marva. What is Randall gonna think about him? Snarled at me, almost salivating like a mad dog. We're not gonna kill you though. Flashing me with a delighted smirk, the Iskari motioned to the group surrounding me. These guys, they're hunters, and we made a deal with them to hand you over. They're really interested in all the juicy vampire secrets you know about, and they're gonna have a great time dragging them out of you. Why are you targeting me? Yeah, why are they even targeting me? Like, of all people, why me? Are you joking? He's definitely joking. God, I hope so. I wasn't even joking. She let a sharp laugh, rolling her eyes in disgust. This chick and I, normally we hate each other's guts, but we hate your guts even more, even if she doesn't hate you for the right reason. The two exchanged glances, returning their hateful stares to me a moment later. You act like you're working with Sharis, don't you? But you treat your job like it's whatever. You don't appreciate it. Getting to work with her is a privilege. Some of us try for years to get her attention. I'm working with what I've been given. How's that my fault? Because she just gave it to you. Some regular little Iskari who doesn't deserve anything. I never asked for any of this. I'm just trying to survive. It's not about who deserves it. If you worked hard, you get my spot. I never asked for any of this. I'm just trying to survive. Yeah, and so are we. But you don't care about anyone else, don't you? As long as we're not your little bubble of friends, you couldn't give a crap about us. Listen, who cares? He's gonna be dead by the end of the night. Cause karma's okay. As if on cue, the hunters impatiently shifted around me, muttering to themselves. From what it sounded like, they were going to force me along in the car nearby. Come on, let's get this crap over with. I want to see him squirm. Agreed. Go on, humans. Take him already. We gotta try these questions. Ooh. Shoot the marva, shoot the Iskari, accept my fate. Okay, accept my fate. What happens if I actually shoot the Iskari? Well, Shari's get mad because... No, Shari won't even get mad because she never even seen her. Well, she have seen her, but like she never... Okay. But what about the Martha? Because... Oh no, I don't want to kill anybody. Okay, the only two choices is accept my fate and the question. I have one last question for you. Oh yeah? Well, spit it out already. How would you feel if you were in my place? Pretty crappy, because I'd be in a piece of crap. What he said, if I were you, I would have killed myself a long time. The next moment, right as I blinked, suddenly the Marva head was gone. What? The only thing left was an empty bleeding stump. A circular saw blade laid on the ground just past his body, next to his severed head. Ah! The girl shrieked, stumbling back from the Marva's corpse. The second huge blade whisked past, slicing one of the hunter's arm in half. My What? Where's it coming from? I don't. Crap! No, please! Within seconds, chaos of panic streaks filled the garage. Everywhere I looked, blood splattered the floor, limbs and chunks of flesh falling in red pools. All the hunters were wildly firing the guns, trying to hit the unseen attacker. One of them turned to run away, racing for the exit, until a saw blade gored to his back, toppling him to the ground. Try to rescue some of the hunters. Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, I darted over the one hunter, humans on the ground, starting to pull him towards safety. But from his empty eyes and the huge blade on his chest, I quickly realized he was dead. All the others looked the same, unmoving, decapitated or brutally pierced in the heart. The bloodbath didn't take much longer to finish. Before long, all the humans were dead, their bodies littering the concrete. The only vampire who escaped was Iskari. She dashed away as fast as her legs could take her, disappearing around the corner and not looking back. As her footsteps phased away, I was left alone again, surrounded by a sea of mangled corpses. When the eerie, too peaceful silence that followed, the stairway door opened and closed. Okay, I need to save. Okay, follow the attacker. That sound had to be the mystery attacker leaving. I have to see who the attacker is. Knowing this would be my only chance to see them, I sprinted for the stairs, slamming the door open. There wasn't any normal vampiric sense for me to follow. It was something strange, alien. Still, I heard footsteps coming above me, so I hurried desperately after them. When I reached the surface, I didn't see anyone at first, until I glanced out of the alley just in time to glimpse a tall, dark-haired figure stalking into the streets. I followed him as quickly as I could, rushing out the alley. Out on the main road, a huge crowd was gathered for some kind of celebrity event. The man must have disappeared into the bustling throng of people because I couldn't see him anywhere. In that crowd, there was no way I'd be finding him anytime soon. His presence was just hard to pin down. It's like it belonged to a ghost or something else I couldn't even comprehend. Disappointed, I ended up hailing a cab, riding back to the hotel with even more questions in my mind. Some flecks of blood, both the hunters and vampires from the smell of it, had landed on my face and clothes. The taxi driver gave me a funny look, but he didn't seem like a freak out as he probably should have been. Maybe it wasn't his first time seeing a passenger like me. Oh my gosh. By the time I reached the hotel, I felt a little more composed. It was difficult to process what happened, both for me and the hotel clerk who stared at me open-mouthed as I arrived. Yeah. My slug would like to speak with you on the phone. Alright, some water, After quickly dialing up a number, the clerk handed me a receiver. On the second ring, a voice picked up. Max, is that you? What on earth happened? You should have been back some time ago. I heard a touch of worry in her voice. I was attacked on my way back. By whom exactly? Oh, for heavens, go on, just tell me everything. At Shari's frustrated command, I explained what had happened in the parking garage. She listened silently and I could almost hear the deep crease knitting on her brow. When I finally finished, she let out a long sigh. The following link, probably Shari's taking off her glasses. You seem to have this remarkable talent for attracting the worst sort of attention. If one of your attackers escaped, I've no doubt the news will spread like wildfire, so be prepared for any rumors drifting about. And the individual who rescued you is nearly just as worrying. Have you any idea who it was? I'm not sure, but it seems incredibly strong. No, but it must have been someone who knew me. Yeah, most likely. But that behavior doesn't resemble Marcus, Randall, or Heath. It must have been someone else. I suppose they didn't want. I suppose they didn't want to have their identity known. She exhaled another sigh, sounding as resigned as she did confused. Well, regardless of your mystery savior, you will have to be on high alert from now on, Max. I doubt most of LA's vampires feel so passionately about you, but after tonight, we can't ignore the possibility. I don't know what I did to get them so worked up. Yeah, I don't know what I did to them. I just maybe I should get a bodyguard. I'm not afraid of them. I'll keep speaking my mind. I don't know what I did to get them so worked up. Take my word for it, Max. People don't require much provocation to get worked up. Even when you accidentally shake their view of the world, they'll take as a grave personal offense as if you threaten their very existence. Consider curbing your behavior, assuming you don't want to deal with more attacks every night. After clearing her throat pointedly, Shari's paused for a moment. I'm out of the city right now on business, but I'll be back at the hotel tomorrow. We'll discuss things a little further then. Do try and stay alive until I return. I will, and you should do the same. Indeed, our times haven't come yet, Max. With that, she abruptly hung up. I handed the phone back to the anxious-looking clerk, who offered me temporary change of clothes again. But by the time I got in the blood of my face and hair, there was still a few hours until sunrise. I had time to venture off into the city again if I felt brave enough. Let's visit the Abatoya. I don't know. Abatoya. Let's try this. The moment I stepped inside the club, I noticed it was much louder than before. There was a live band performing tonight, blasting the music through the loudspeakers as the crowd listened and danced. Go find Lucia. After combing my way through the throngs of clubgoers, I finally found Lucia off by herself. She seemed to be lost in thought, but when I walked up, her attention quickly flicked over to me. Max, how are you, darling? You look like a little peaked too, though I suppose that's normal for a vampire. I could use a nice chat to take my mind off things, actually. Oh, really? I'm here for you, darling. Always happy to listen. What would you like to chat about then? Something exciting? How are your information reports going? Oh, right, those. There hasn't been much to report really. Everyone seemed to be sealing their lips a lot tighter, keeping all that juicy gossip for themselves. If you want to learn any interesting tidbits about the Iscari or Mava, I think you'd be a lot better off rubbing shoulders with them at the hotel or the beach. Can't help you with the girls though, they're all over the place in every sense of the phrase. Have you heard any interesting rumors lately? Rumors, is it? Well, let's see. It seems like tensions between the houses are heating up lots. Lots of impatient vampires taking matters into their own hands. What else? Randall's followers have been growing, but that's nothing new. I heard they're getting more and more insular though. I think that's about it. Probably a lot more out there, but none I'm privy to. Pity there isn't a vampire tabloid going around. Probably a lot of money to be had there. Could I ask about your love life? You should ask. You could ask, yes. It's about as sorted and raunchy as you imagine. I threw my limits in the bin ages ago. I try nearly everything I enjoy a lot more than I expected to, but none of it beats a nice color at the end of the night. Completely depraved of me, I know. Alright, have fun out there, darling. Wiggling her fingers at me, Alicia sidled off towards the bar, turning a few heads as she went. Let's leave the club. It's not even safe for us anywhere. It's not even safe for us anywhere. I left the noisy interior of the club, returning to the street. Let's go back to my room. Time has passed quickly and the night was already almost over. Time to head back. As I returned to my room, I still felt slightly unnerved from my earlier brush with death. The sight of all those bodies stayed fresh in my mind. What if our places happened in reverse and my corpse was lying there right now, while they walk free? If not my mysterious savior, that situation might have come true. Right before I climbed into bed, I got a worried call from Randall. He'd already heard the rumors about what happened. Once he, wait, okay, it's right. Okay, no, it's not. Okay. Once he made sure I was alright, we talked for a little while longer, and he seemed delighted to hear my voice. Finally, just as the sun was beginning to creep over the horizon, we said our goodbyes. Oh crap! Oh no, I didn't mean to. Although Randall seemed reluctant to let me go. The thought didn't give me any comfort as I huddled in for another dreamless rest. Okay, we're gonna get like a mission. Yeah, I knew it. We're gonna get a mission. A loud noise jolted me awake. It was the phone. Someone was ringing at me at the ungodly hour of 7:18 p.m. After shaking off the haze of sleep, I reached out to grab the receiver. Hello? No reply. Had they already hung up? It might have been the wrong number. Then, all of a sudden, a soft, bitter sob leaked out from the other end of the line. I couldn't recognize the voice. It wasn't a woman's, but it didn't sound much like any man I knew either. Are you okay? The pitiful whimpers are almost sounded like they were trying to form words, but I couldn't make anything out. Only the sound of grief, shuddering inhales between choked sobs. Seriously, who's there? Randall? Heath? Marcus? Instead of a reply, the line went dead. I effectively shook my head. Even though my voice was gone, I felt like I still heard those quiet sobs echoing in my ears. It didn't sound like anyone I knew. But what if it was? Call Randall. Okay. Even though the voice probably wasn't Randall's, my mind was already racing through the worst possible scenarios. At least I knew his number though, unlike the others. I won't be able to go back to sleep like this. Better to call and make sure that he was alright. Quickly dialing Randall's number, I listened to it ring once, twice, 3 times. Yeah? Who is this? Randall's gruff greeting rang out, same as always. You didn't happen to just call me, didn't you? Oh, hey Max, wait, call you? I didn't know. Wait, why did someone ring your room and hang up? Yeah, and they were crying. Crying? Huh, that's a little freaky. Maybe someone's drunk a little too much spiked blood. Huh. He paused for a moment. Okay. He paused for a moment, clearing his throat. Oh, actually, I wanted to ask you something. See, ever since tension started heating up, I haven't really been able to see Marcus. His place is pretty close to Shari's stuff, and he hasn't been picking up any calls for a while. With the way things are going, I want to drop by his place tonight. Get to catch up a little. Who knows when I'll be able to see him again. Anyway, I was hoping you'd come with me. You didn't want to visit him alone? I guess if you didn't want to visit him alone? Nah, it's more like you said you two know each other, so I figure he'd like to see you again. Who wouldn't? Besides, paying Marcus a visit is always a great time. You ever been to his shop before? Yeah, it's unforgettable to say at least. No kidding, I still have nightmares after seeing the oh no. You sure you don't mean wet dreams? You sure you don't mean wet dreams? Nah, I think you're confusing me for Heath. Manuel snickered, clearly amused by the thought. I'll meet you. Okay, I'll meet you there in about an hour, right? All right. Okay. So like that is it for today. I'll actually continue this game. Like I don't know how long I'm gonna continue it, but like yeah, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.